Hey guys, I'm Vanessa from Blush Wedding Photography in South Australia. And today we're going to be talking about some of the questions that you might want to ask during your meeting with your wedding photographers. Do you do an engagement shoot? Now, it's not like essential by any means, but I think that if you do get the opportunity to work with your photographer beforehand, the benefits would be that you get to know each other better, you get to get into each other's flow a little bit more, and a lot of the nerves are taken out of the day because you know the person that's going to be showing up. You just have a little bit more of an idea kind of how it's going to go. And trust me, when those nerves about just having your photo taken are removed, it will flow a lot smoother. How many photos will I receive? It varies from photographer to photographer, but it's just something that you might want to ask. Will you be coming or will you be sending another photographer? Now, it's just something to consider as some studios do work with the family of photographers, family being 5 or 6 different photographers under the one banner. Do you have a second shooter or is that something that can be arranged? Just another topic to cover during your conversation. A second shooter is a second person that would come with the photographer, gives you those different angles and a slightly different perspective, especially if they're being directed by a photographer to capture, mainly just the details or like whatever. So it is a good thing to have. Do you carry spare equipment, backup equipment? So second cameras, flashes. If something was to fail, are you going to be okay on the day? Okay, another one is, do you have insurance? Most professional photographers you have to have insurance. I've even had it where the venues have asked for me to prove my insurance and I've had to bring along a certificate. It's a simple question that's going to weed out anybody who's just not a professional photographer. Do you offer albums and prints? So a lot of people are doing it like a la carte. Some people still include it in your packages. Another one that's a good one to ask that I don't think a lot of people know is even an option is, do we get a sneak peek? By the end of the weekend, we would give 20 or so images, like a little splattering from the day to give you so that you have in your safe hands and you can share it with your friends and family on social media. Now, this question I think is really important, and it comes back to my last video about style and trying to understand what you like. So the question is, can I see a full gallery from a wedding that you've shot? This will show you their work right through from getting ready all the way through to the reception. You might find a photographer that you just absolutely love their natural light work. So when the sun's out and daylight and it's just so beautiful, but then you get through to the reception and it's just not the vibe that you want. So it's just important, I think, to see that wedding all the way through. Most photographers would just send you a link to a couple of their weddings if they're not already up on their website. So this next one is, do we get the original files? So the raw files, so the original files that I take on the day. This one comes up a lot, like I've probably had it asked to me, 10, 20 times. And I know a lot of my friends who are photographers and videographers definitely get it. And a lot of people don't understand why the answer is no. Now, the reason that the answer is no is because the files are raw, so the color is really faded to saturated. It's like it has nothing on it. Only half of our job is done when we finish shooting. The other half starts with the editing. So it would be like handing over just completely unfinished work, like an artist who just did the outline and then didn't fill in any of the color. It's part of our integrity, like our professional integrity, that we control the way the finished look, the outcome. So that is the reason why we don't hand it over. A simple question, can you recommend a videographer? Now, the reason why this is a good one for your photographers is because they will generally have 3, 4, 5 videographers that they have a good relationship with, that the work is similar, so it complements each other. The energy between the two people is really nice on the day. It's complementative rather than like a seesaw of like pulling for time and energy. So I think it's definitely a bonus for you if your photographer can recommend a videographer. Now, another question that you might want to ask is, have you shot at our venue before? Now this by no means is essential. It will just help, like the photographer will be able to suggest different places to shoot at or different things that have maybe worked in the past as far as ceremony setup or just all that kind of thing. The next question from that would be, if you haven't, are you willing to do a venue site, like a site visit with us? I would say that most photographers would say yes, without a doubt, especially if they haven't been there. I would never ever, unless it was like a location, like I was here, it was Melbourne and it was not enough time or whatever, there wouldn't be any instance where I walked into a venue blind. I don't think that's professional, and I think that it is really important that you know what you're walking into, you know exactly where everything's going to be set up, and you know where your spot is. Last one, and I think this is really relevant just due to all this stuff that's happening in the world right now. But what is your cancellation policy? It's really been brought to light as we've had so many postponements. So I think that working through and understanding where you stand and having a really clear and transparent terms and conditions, I think is a good question to ask. Okay, so I think that covers the main questions that I feel would really get you somewhere. You want to keep it really relevant to you. If you're getting married further away, you know, make sure you talk about travel fees. So please comment below if you have any questions or if anything I've said has brought on more questions. So please like, share and subscribe. Happy planning, and I will see you all next week.